While protests have quieted down some, especially along Monument Avenue, tensions remain high in this former capital of the Confederacy. The real estate in the middle of Monument Avenue in Richmond is emptier than just a few short months ago. Pedestals that once held statues of Confederate leaders now covered in graffiti. In the midst of a pandemic, crowds poured into the streets, defacing and dismantling the statues after George Floyd's killing. In July, the mayor used his executive power to remove many of them.
I've given this order for two reasons. First, it's a matter of public safety. The second reason I act today is because it is past time. As the capital city of Virginia, we have needed to turn this page for decades. And today, we will.
It is significant in that it's like your voice is finally being heard.
Richmond area pastor Emmanuel Harris says these times are leading the Black church to reinvent itself in some ways.
I think in this season, the Black church is trying to find its role because many movements in the past were church-led. The civil rights era, a lot of those movements were, especially in the Black church, were church-led. If you look at a lot of these modern protests, the preachers are not, they may be in them, but they're not at the forefront. In this day and age, the preacher is not the expert in everything. I think as a minister, we have to be comfortable creating a stage and not so much being on stage.
The Robert E. Lee Monument was the first and largest one to be erected here along Monument Avenue in Richmond, Virginia. Ironically, it would be the last one standing after the others here had been taken down. The Lee Monument was built in 1890, then similar tributes popped up, including those to Confederate generals Jeb Stuart, Stonewall Jackson, and Confederate President Jefferson Davis. Signature pieces in what became an exclusive neighborhood for the white elite. In nearby Monroe Park, the statue of Confederate General Williams Carter Wickham was installed in 1891. Protesters took matters into their own hands, toppling that one back in June. So that didn't happen again. City workers took down the others per the mayor's orders, while Lee's statue remained.
So I am directing the Department of General Services to remove the statue of Robert E. Lee as soon as possible.
Easier said than done, as it's the only statue on state property. The removal of the Lee Monument entangled in legal red tape as some challenge the governor's decision.
In 2020, we can no longer honor a system that was based on the buying and selling of enslaved people. It was wrong then, and it is wrong now.
So you can tear down a statue, but it doesn't mean that policies, practices, institutions that perpetuate racism have been torn down. And to tear those down would take much, much more time. This is a marathon, not a sprint. For those of us who understand just the level and layers of society and systemic racism that exists in our culture.
I asked Pastor Harris if God is pleased by the statues coming down.
Absolutely, yes.
The only statue addition to Monument Avenue after the Confederate shrines came just 24 years ago to a very different figure, Arthur Ashe, a world-renowned African-American tennis pro and son of Richmond. That monument still stands. Eric Phillips, CBN News.